At the age of 3, he was beating drums before he could spell his name. At age 7, he was teaching himself instruments no one taught him. At 13, the world discovered him. At 16, fame swallowed him. At 19, pressure turned into mistakes. And in his 20s, judgment never stopped. And today, he lives with the scars of fame, proving that success can raise you fast, but still even break you faster. A young boy who was once loved and celebrated by millions now became trapped by fame he never asked for. He's now alone and full of regrets. Mistakes haunted him, pressures and pain followed every step he took. The world never saw the fear, sorrow, and emptiness behind the smile. This is the rise and fall of Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber rose from the small town to the world stage, loved by millions but trapped under constant eyes. Childhood vanished, privacy stolen, and every mistake amplified. Pressure, mistake, and judgment followed him relentlessly. Behind the music and the lights, a boy learned life the hard way, paying for fame too soon, haunted by every choice. Today, you are going to be hearing the darkest secrets behind the fall of this R&B star. This is Fame and Fallout. Before the world knew his name, before the fame and the mistakes, before the lights and the chaos, let's take it back to where it all truly began, the genesis. Justin Drew Bieber was born on March 1st, 1994 in London, Ontario. At first glance, that details sound ordinary. But come to think of it, ordinary beginning often hide complicated truths. And that was what Justin's journey looked like. Justin Bieber was raised in Stratford, Ontario, a small town where life moved slowly and dreams were usually modest.
Coming from Stratford, Ontario, and just like, it basically gave others like hope.
Stratford was not known for creating global stars. It was quiet, predictable, and simple. In fact, most people who grew up there lived normal life and stayed close to home. They don't excel beyond the city.
I come from basically somewhere that nothing really comes from there, like nobody's ever came out of Stratford, Ontario and been famous or...
But Justin's life, however, was different from the very start. You see, he was born into a situation that was already fragile. His mother, Paternity, was just 18 years old when she gave birth to him. She was young, inexperienced, and still trying to figure out life herself. So, becoming a parent at that age meant growing up very fast without much support. Justin's father, on the other hand, Jeremy Bieber, was not consistently present in his early life. He was more like an absent dad. Now, this meant that Justin grew up mainly with his mother. As a matter of fact, most of his childhood memories were shaped by a single parent household. Money was always tight, they didn't live in comfort. In fact, they lived in low-income houses. And Patty, who was the mother, worked different jobs to survive. Some days they were better than others, but stability was never guaranteed. Sometimes they depend on help from Patty's family and relatives. Life was not luxurious. Life was about endurance. You see, when a child grew up watching a parent struggle, it shaped the way that child sees the world. Justin learned early that nothing came easy. He learned that survival came before comfort. Well, as a mother, Patty tried her best to raise Justin with discipline and strong values. She believed deeply in faith and prayer. She wanted her son to grow up respectful and protected from negative influence. But protecting a child from this world is not always possible, especially when the world knocks early. Justin was an energetic child. He was curious, restless, and expressive. He did not like sitting still for too long. But there was one thing that could hold his attention. It was music. Music did not just interest Justin, it consumed him. You see, Justin Bieber connected with music in a way that felt natural, almost instinctive. He was not forced into it. Nobody pushed him. He simply gravitated towards sounds and rhythm. As a matter of fact, he taught himself how to play several instruments. Drums came first, then piano, and then guitar and trumpet. No formal lesson, no expensive teachers, just a child learning by watching, listening, and repeating. Music became his escape. It was where he felt confident. It was where he felt hard. In a life filled with uncertainty, music was that one thing that made sense to him. At around 2 years old, he started showing interest in drums, not toy drums, but real drums. Whenever he saw a set of drums, he becomes curious. he would hit the drum and listen carefully to the sound. He wasn't just making noise. Come to think of it, he was trying to understand rhythm without knowing it. His mother, Patty, noticed this very early. As a matter of fact, she said many times that Justin would tap rhythm on tables, on the floor, even on his own body. Music wasn't taught to him at this stage. It came naturally. By the time Justin was 3 to 4 years old, his interest in music had grown strongly. He began copying beats he had on the radio. If a song plays more than once, he remembered it. And that memory was sharp, very, very sharp. He could repeat sound accurately, something unusual for a child very young. And because they didn't have money, formal music lesson was not always possible. But Justin didn't need expensive equipment. He used what was available. Buckets became drums, tables became instruments, anything that made sound became something he could play with. Around 5 years old, his curiosity expanded beyond drums. He started paying attention to melodies. He listened to songs and tried to sing along. Sometimes he sang quietly, other times he sang loudly. Without fear or embarrassment, music was a safe place for him. At this stage, Justin's voice was still small and high, just like many children, but it was clear and it carried emotion. You see, even before the fame, he sang with feelings. He wasn't just repeating words, he was expressing something, even if he doesn't understand what it was yet. By the age of 8, his musical ability was clear and undeniable. He could play drums, pianos, guitar, and even trumpets at basic level. And remember, most of this was self-taught. As a matter of fact, that detail is often overlooked. Now, something was going to change when he was 12. When Justin Bieber was around 12 years old, his mother signed him up in a local singing competition in Stratford. Though he did not win the first place, but his performance stood out. People noticed his voice, they noticed his confidence. And you see, the moment mattered a lot, not because of fame, but because it introduced Justin to something powerful, which was a more bigger attention. Now, something interesting happened during the first Justin Bieber's performance. His mother, Patty, wanted family member who could not attend the competition to see Justin perform. So she did something simple, took up her cell phone, recorded her son singing covers to popular songs, and she uploaded the video on YouTube. She just did it for fun. At that time, this decision did not feel life-changing. It doesn't even look like something new was going to happen in their life. But you see, YouTube was still growing. It was not known as the place where careers were built at the time. It was just a platform to share moments. But the internet has a way of changing lives quietly. People started watching, people started commenting, people started sharing. Meanwhile, Justin was still living a normal life in Stratford. Still going to school, still eating dinners at home, but somewhere far away, strangers were discovering his voice. Come to think of it, this was the moment where two worlds began to collide: childhood and exposure. One of the people who discovered Justin's video was Braun, a music manager. Now, here is how it happened. Scooter was searching for another artist when he accidentally clicked on one of Justin's videos. That accident changed everything. Scooter noticed something immediately. He saw a superstar in a child. Justin was young, but he had presence. His voice carried emotion. He did not look afraid of the camera. Scooter wanted to meet him immediately. He knew this boy is going to be a superstar.
So I had this idea of who that kid was, and that's when I saw Justin, I'm like, that's the kid.
We saw him just on YouTube.
Yeah, middle of the night. I went on to consult. I was making extra money consulting other people. I was consulting Akon on another artist, and I clicked on Justin's video by mistake, and I was like, that's the kid.
Now, finding Justin Bieber was not easy at first. It was difficult for Scooter to connect with him. Maybe because Justin's mother was tired of anyhow people trying to reach her son. So she wasn't giving attention to whosoever was trying to reach her online. She probably thought, these people are trying to scam me and my son to make money because he's talented. But you see, God has a way of doing his own things, because eventually, Scooter contacted Patty after so many times of trying. Well, Patty said, let me give it a try. Let me try this person out if he's going to be truthful. And you see, we cannot blame Patty, because Patty was cautious. As a young single mother, she had every reason to be very careful. The music industry was full of stories about children being used and forgotten. As a matter of fact, Patty initially resisted. She said, no, I am not putting my child out there to anyone. Well, It was pure motherly instinct. But after careful thought, prayer, and hope for a better future, she agreed. Yes, she agreed to Scooter's offer to fly Justin Bieber out to Atlanta to meet bigger stars like Usher. You know, Scooter know quite a number of celebrities, so it was easy for him to convince Justin Bieber's mother. Now, Justin Bieber traveled to Atlanta, Georgia to meet Scooter physically for music business. Mind you, he was only 13 years old at the time. This was his major separation from home. You see, leaving Canada at such a young age was not just a physical journey, it was an emotional one. Justin was stepping into the world he did not fully understand. When he got to Atlanta, he was introduced to recording studios, producers, and industry professionals. He was surrounded by adults with plans, executions, and pressure. And he was still a child. Of course, 13 years old is still a child. Now, during this meeting in Atlanta, Scooter introduced Justin to Usher. We all know Usher as a global music star. And the most interesting thing was that the moment Usher listened to Justin Bieber's performance, he recognized his potential. He believed Justin had something real. He believed it was different.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you Island Def Jam recording artist Justin Bieber. It's getting ready to go down. Just so you know, we're in the studio right now working on it. Get ready because it's gonna be big. Ain't that right, Justin?
That's right.
That's right. So look out. We're coming.
Right at the meeting in Atlanta, situations began to change for Bieber and his entire family. He was first signed to RBMG Records, which was a joint venture between his manager Scooter and R&B singer Usher. Shortly after, he secured another broader recording contract with a major label called Island Record, which was part of the Island Def Jam music record at the time. Remember, Justin was only 13 years old at the time. You see, this detail cannot be overstated. 13 years old. Honestly, at that age, most children are still learning who they are. They are still making mistakes in private and they are still being protected by their guardian or parents. But Justin did not have all of that. He didn't have the time to think like every other child. His life changed overnight from being a regular child to a superstar. From that moment he signed the first contract, his life stopped being normal. He moved away from Stratford, he spent less time with his family, and is now spending more time in traveling. Now, school became irregular, privacy disappeared, expectations replaced freedom. Justin was now part of a system that did not slow down for childhood. As a matter of fact, the industry does not wait for emotional maturity. They don't care. As far as you have the talent, you are signed, then you need to start working non-stop. And that was what Justin Bieber's life looked like as 13. He started to perform long hours. Studio sections lasted late into midnight. He was coached on how to speak, how to dress, how to behave. His image was carefully reshaped. But inside, it was still growing. You see, fame entered Justin Bieber's life before identity did. He was praised constantly. Adults told him he was special. Crowds screamed his name. Cameras followed him everywhere. And to be honest, that kind of attention can confuse even the strongest minded, let alone a teenager. Now, at that point of fame, Justin's mother tried to remain involved. She tried to protect him spiritually and emotionally. But the environment was powerful. The industry had its own rules. Tours replaced classroom, security replaced normal friendship, and schedules replaced spontaneity. Come to think of it, Justin did not gradually step into fame. He was pulled into it. Even before his biggest success, the foundation was already unstable. Though he was loved by many people, but he was always deeply isolated, surrounded by people, yet emotionally alone. He was controlled by schedules, yet praised for freedom. This contradiction mattered a lot because when a child grows up too fast, something is always left behind. At one point, he himself said he got tired of the whole fame and the whole celebrity life, that he badly wanted to go back to his childhood life where he can play with his friends on the streets and just live a normal life. Now, little did he know that that was just the beginning of the struggles and fame. Because by the time the world fully embraced him, his childhood had already begun to fade and he couldn't even control it anymore. He was now a 13-year-old boy who suddenly became famous, unprepared for. And that was where the deeper story truly started. Justin Bieber did not just arrive slowly, he arrived like a storm, all of a sudden. You see, once he stepped fully into the spotlight, there was no pause button. Fame did not knock, it broke down the door. Now by 2009, the industry already knew his name. By 2010, the world could not escape it. As a matter of fact, this was not normal success, it was obsession. Justin was still a teenager, but his face was already everywhere. On the television, radio, billboard, school lockers, and even phone screen. It was literally everywhere you could imagine. Come to think of it, he was no longer a person, he was a phenomenon. Then boom, he released the song that changed everything, Baby, which was released in 2010. The song exploded across the world. It was simple, it was catchy, and it was emotional. And most importantly, it was impossible to ignore. You see, Baby was not just a hit, it was a cultural takeover. Millions of young fans memorized every word. Concerts sold out within few minutes, screams followed him everywhere. And just like that, Justin Bieber became the most famous teenager on earth at just 15 years old. The world was already celebrating him, he was barely keeping up, he was still growing, still learning, still fragile, yet the expectations were massive. You know, success did not slow down for him to breathe. As far as he was making money, people around him did not care. Well, his debut album, My World 2.0, dominated charts. Award followed quickly, appearances became constant, interviews started coming in, flights became a routine. Justin was always moving from one city to another, from stage to stage, from one country to another. Come to think of it, he did not have the time to process anything, and the world did not care. Fans loved him intensely. Every move he made was watched, every word he spoke was judged. As a matter of fact, Justin became the youngest artist to achieve milestones that other musicians spent decades to achieve. But with every achievement, something else disappeared. It was privacy, freedom, and normal growth. Justin was surrounded by adults, managers, security, executives, and fans. But very few people were within his age range. You see, when fame arrived too fast, it replaced your childhood. His identity became tied to performance. When he sang, he was loved. When he was silent, he was questioned. This created a dangerous loop that nobody was taking note of. Justin's peak did not happen in 1 year. It happened in stages. And each stage pushed him higher, while quietly pushing him closer to danger. By April 2010, paparazzi started camping outside hotels, studios, and even near private residence. Cameras followed him constantly. Every move was recorded. Every mistake was magnified. You see, the fame had become a 24-hour surveillance system. One of the most disturbing moments happened on April 27, 2010, when Justin Bieber fainted backstage after a performance due to exhaustion and dehydration. The news spread fast. Fans panicked. The label played it down, but it was clear his body was already feeling the cost of fame. Around this time, Justin started showing signs of emotional stress. On May 10, 2010, during an interview, Justin became unusually quiet when asked about pressure. He smiled, but his eyes didn't match. Come to think of it, that was the first time people noticed something was off. Then came the hate. As his fame grew, so did criticism. Online bullying became intense, adults mocked him. Media outlets questioned his talent, late night shows made jokes about him, and Justin saw it all. He read comments, he watched clips. At 16, he was already learning how cruel the world could be. By June 2010, fans were not just following him, they were invading his space. Some tried to break into his hotel, others waited outside bedroom. There were moments when Justin had to be rushed out of the building through the back door to avoid chaos. One particularly scary moment happened on June 24, 2010, when a crowd surged towards him during a public appearance, nearly causing stampede. Security later admitted the situation could have turned dangerous if Justin was not rescued on time. By late 2010, Justin was rarely alone. Managers, security, and assistants were always around him. He was surrounded by people but felt increasingly isolated. He later admitted during this time that he missed being normal, he missed walking freely, he missed silence. Another shocking thing happened. One night in December 2010, after a long day of promotion, Justin Bieber reportedly broke down in private, not on camera, not on stage, but alone, and started crying. This was one of the first time he questioned whether fame was worth it. He was rich, he was famous, but he was also tired, scared, and confused. And remember, this was barely 2 years into being famous. And as if that was not enough, another moment that truly showed how fame had crossed the dangerous line for Justin Bieber happened in December 2010. During an interview with the veteran journalist Barbara Walter, at that time Justin was 16 years old, he was still a minor. Well, during this interview, the interviewer moved away from music success question to then suddenly asking Justin a very personal question about his sex life. Specifically, he was asked whether he was still a virgin. But how could you ask a 16-year-old boy if he was a virgin on national TV? You see, those questions shocked many people watching. But more importantly, it clearly shocked Justin himself. His reaction said it all. He became uncomfortable immediately. His body language changed, his face tightened, he tried to laugh it off, but the discomfort was obvious. He didn't understand why such a question was being asked. He wasn't a grown-up man, he was still a teenager. As a matter of fact, Justin looked embarrassed and slightly disgusted, not angry, just confused. The year 2010 introduced Justin Bieber, but the year 2011 confirmed him. He released the documentary film Never Say Never. The film showed his rise from YouTube to world stage. This documentary broke records. It became one of the highest grossing concert films of all time. At just 17 years, Justin was already being studied like a legend. That same year, he released the album Under the Mistletoe. It debuted at #1 on the Billboard charts. As a matter of fact, Justin again became the first male artist to have a Christmas album debut at #1. That had never happened before. You see, at this point, he was not just successful, he was unstoppable. Everything he touched turns into numbers, sales, streams, tickets, mention them. He was ready to achieve them all. But in the midst of this fame and positive energy, something else also started happening: the negativity of fame. You see, when you're a superstar, you're automatically born to be loved and hated at the same time. That was what Justin Bieber experienced as a teenage superstar. You see, the love that Justin Bieber received was also matched by online hatred and bullying. The internet turned into a battlefield. Every day, millions praised him, but millions also attacked him. Mind you, there were adults who hated him so much. Not even children, I mean grown-up adults. Most of his loudest critics were grown-up men and women booing him in public. They mocked him in crowd. They treated a teenage boy like a target. You see, this hurts more than online comments. Adults hating on a young boy just because he was successful. At award shows and public events, there were moments when adult audience booed him. They mentioned his name, they called him names, even at the public event.
I will squeeze your face. No, I will. No.
By 2012, he released the album Believe. This album marked a shift. It marked a difference. It was louder, more confident, and more aggressive. Why? Because Justin Bieber was trying to sound older and more matured, which actually worked out for him. Because right after the release, the album went #1 in several countries. The Believe World Tour followed. This tour was massive, sold out arenas, back-to-back shows, constant traveling, and as a matter of fact, Justin was barely home. He was always away. Well, from the outside, this looked like dominance. It looked like he was making a lot of money. He became one of the most followed people on Twitter in the world. Every tweet became news, every post became headline. You see, by now, Justin's voice was not just heard in music, it controlled attention. This was the tropic. Maximum influence, maximum exposure, maximum power. In November 2011, few months before Justin turned 18, a woman publicly accused him of being the father of a child. She said Justin Bieber impregnated and abandoned her. You see, these accusations spread so fast. Headlines exploded. Social media turned hostile overnight. This was serious. Justin denied the claim immediately. He said it was not truth.
Yeah. Headlines or someone is filing a paternity suit.
Exactly.
Saying you're the father of her 3-month-old son. What would you like to say about that?
I'd just like to say basically that none of those allegations are true.
But the damage was already done. People judged him before facts were cleared. Fans were confused. Critics were ruthless. For a teenager already under pressure, this moment was terrifying. Eventually, Justin agreed to do a DNA test to prove his innocence. Weeks later, the results showed the claims were false. The case closed, but the emotional damage stayed. You see, Justin later said this was one of the most stressful periods of his young life, because this was the moment he realized fame could destroy him without proof. And it was around the same time that paparazzi started getting on his nerves. He was being followed constantly, watched everywhere, hunted for mistakes, privacy was gone completely. Well, by the end of 2011, Justin was exhausted, exposed, and emotionally worn out. The child protections were gone. the expectations became heavier and real consequences were about to begin. Justin Bieber officially became an adult on March 1st, 2012. He turned 18 years old. For most young people, turning 18 means freedom. But for Justin, it means something heavier. It means the world stopped seeing him as a child and started holding him fully responsible for whatever he did. At first, it looked like he was winning because just days after his birthday, he released his new era music. On June 15, 2012, when his third studio album was released, titled Believe, the album debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 chart. This made Justin one of the youngest male artists in the history to have 5 number 1 albums in the United States. That record mattered. It showed that he had successfully transitioned from a teen idol into a global pop star. Songs like Boyfriend broke records immediately.
If I was your boyfriend, never let you go.
Boyfriend became the highest debut ever by a male artist on the Billboard Hot 100 at the time. It entered number 2. The world was watching. And not to forget that he also became the most followed person on Twitter, passing major world figures. His YouTube views crossed billions. His fans base did not shrink with age. It grew stronger. On paper, this was peak. But behind the success, something was changing. By 2013, Justin Bieber was 19 years old, and this was where the peak became unstable. He released a deeply personal project titled Journals. This was the beginning of his transition from a boy to a man. The music in that project was darker, the tone was heavier, and it hinted at confusion and conflict.
If you spend the night, baby, it could be heaven.
But most importantly, 2013 was the year public behavior started changing. Fans were confused. You see, Justin was still successful, but something had shifted. The world was still celebrating him, but the cracks were now visible. As a matter of fact, this is what makes 2013 important. Now, it marked the end of clean dominance. It was still at the top, but the top had become unstable. Now, throughout 2013, Justin's name started appearing in headlines for reasons that had nothing to do with music. So many negativities. There were reports of late arrivals to shows, some concerts were shortened, fans complained, critics became louder. At the same time, paparazzi pressure became extreme. Camera followed him everywhere. Every move was recorded, every mistake went viral. You see, I could imagine how annoying this could be. Like, why do you have to follow him everywhere? In March 2013, Justin Bieber was involved in an altercation with a paparazzi in London, where he challenged a photographer who was following him about for no reason. The confrontation led to a verbal abuse, though he didn't physically fight the photographer, but they almost did. By mid of 2013, his behavior became unbearable to people around him. Neighbors in his residential area complained about noise, reckless behavior, and chaos surrounding his home. Police visited many times. Again, some incidents were dismissed, others were warned in, but the pattern was clear that fame was no longer just uncomfortable to him, it was becoming destructive. The fame and money is making him misbehave in an uncontrollable manner. But that didn't stop him from shining, because in 2013, he became the youngest artist to ever have 5 albums debuted at the number 1 in the United States. This record still stands.
Justin Bieber!
Justin Bieber is the first artist under 19 to have 5 number 1s on the Billboard 200.
His global tour still sold out. His brand power remained massive.
You're beautiful, beautiful, you should know it. You're beautiful, beautiful, you should know it.
But emotionally, he was falling off. Even though he was just 18 at the time, he was now a young, rich, and wild adult. He himself later admitted that during this time, he felt angry, empty, and lost. As a matter of fact, he said he didn't know who he was without fame. Then on January 23rd, 2014, this was the day everything collapsed publicly. Justin Bieber was arrested in Miami Beach, Florida, for driving under the influence of alcohol, reckless driving, and resisting arrest. He was only 19 years old at the time. The arrest photos spread around the world within minutes. The image shocked even his most loyal fans. This was no longer gossip. this was real.
DUI, alcohol, or drugs, resisting without violence, and driving with an expired driver's license.
For the first time, Justin Bieber faced serious legal consequences as an adult. The courts did not treat him as a child star anymore. Public sympathy dropped sharply. You see, the arrest was not the only problem. It was the symbol of a larger issue, because he began acting without consequence, thinking fame would protect him, and for a moment, it seemed like it might. Fans defended him online. His record label issued many statements, but the public perception had begun to shift. The same people who once idolized him now whispered doubts. The teenage boy they had loved for so many years now appeared reckless, entitled, and out of control. Following the Miami arrest, other incidents compounded the problem. In June 2013, Justin was again involved in a public altercation in Toronto. He reportedly yelled at his neighbors and damaged properties during a party at a rented mansion. Law enforcement investigated, and while charges were minimal, the optics were terrible. The media framed him as spoiled, dangerous, and irresponsible. You see, perception matters more than facts in the age of global fame. At the same time, Justin Bieber's personal association worsened his image. He began spending time with people who encouraged risky behaviors rather than offering guidance. Friends and associates were photographed engaging in reckless activities, driving dangerously, partying excessively, and disobeying law. Justin was often at the center of these events. To the public, it appeared he was choosing the wrong path intentionally. And you know how social media amplified every mistake. Videos of him misbehaving, throwing bottles, or arguing with authorities circulated instantly. YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, nothing escaped the public eyes. Unlike early days when small mistakes could be excused, these incidents were broadcast globally within minutes. One of the most significant missteps happened in June 2013 during a hotel stay in Toronto. Justin Bieber reportedly threw eggs at his neighbor's house, causing property damage worth thousands. Though police were called, reports surfaced in every major news outlet. And soon the story became viral. Parents, fans, and media were stunned. This was not just mischief. This was recklessness that endangered other people's lives and showing disregard for the law. By late 2015, Justin Bieber had reached a dangerous point in his life. The mistakes he made were no longer just stories in the news. They had become part of who the world believed he was. And changing that belief felt almost impossible. The damage to his image was complete. People no longer saw a misunderstood youngster. They saw someone reckless, someone out of control, someone who had been given everything and still managed to fall apart. The patience that once surrounded him was now gone. You see, that was the real cost of his mistake. By 2016, he was now carrying the weight of years of backlash, although his album was still doing good in markets. But he himself was not doing good. During the Purpose World Tour in 2016, something alarming happened again. Justin began cancelling meet and greets without warning. Fans who paid large amount of money were turned down. Some cried, others got angry. Online backlashes followed immediately. He later explained that constant physical contacts, forcing him to smile, had become emotionally unbearable for him. But at that time, the public saw it as arrogance. Come to think of it, this reaction showed how badly his image had shifted. When he tried to protect his mental health, people assumed the worst. His past mistakes had trained the world not to give him the benefit of the doubt. In July 2016, Justin Bieber posted a message online saying he felt emotionally drained and disconnected. But instead of receiving support from his fans, the post was mocked. Screenshots spread, comments attacked him, even vulnerability was no longer safe. This pushed him further inward. By 2017, Justin made one of the most shocking decisions of his life. He cancelled the remaining dates of his Purpose World Tour, walking away with over 90 million in potential earnings. To the public, this looked irresponsible. To Justin, it looked like survival. He later admitted that years of fame, pressures, mistakes, substance use, and non-stop judgment had left him mentally exhausted. He said he was not in a healthy state to continue performing. As a matter of fact, he described feeling empty, angry, and disconnected from himself. This was the lowest point. Justin had everything the world dreamed of: money, fame, influence, yet he felt broken inside. The same freedom that destroyed his image had nearly destroyed him as a person. Looking back, Justin openly admitted what his biggest mistake truly was.
He's gone through a lot in a very short life. You don't always agree
with someone's decisions in that moment. They're young people making very big decisions that affect a lot of people. And sometimes in those scenarios, you're gonna make the right decision. Sometimes you're gonna make wrong.
I was popping pills. I was doing Molly, shrooms, everything.
It was not just the arrest. It was not just the partying. It was not just the reckless behavior. The real mistake was growing up without boundaries. He said fame gave him power before discipline. It gave him access before wisdom. It gave him men instead of guidance. He admitted he believed he was untouchable not because he was evil, but because nobody ever taught him consequences early enough. And when consequences finally arrive, they arrive all at once. And to escape all of this pain and this reality, he started using hard drugs. And this only made things worse. Each escape became another headline. Each headline became another crack in his image. By the time he realized the damage, it was already done. Parents no longer wanted their children idolizing him. Adults openly criticized him. The media framed him as a falling star. Even fans who stayed loyal admitted they were worried. This was how his image was destroyed, not overnight, but step by step, mistake by mistake, choice by choice. So it was apparent that he did not fall because he lacked talent. He fell because fame came before maturity, because freedom arrived before structure, and because pressure came before identity. And by the time he stepped away from the spotlight, the lesson was clear. Fame does not raise you, it reveals you. And for Justin Bieber, the mistake that destroyed his image also became the pain that forced him to finally grow. He had hit rock bottom, and it is now time to focus on himself. So he started focusing on his inner life. He sought guidance not from managers or label, but from people who cared about his well-being. He leaned into faith not as a performance, but as a personal anchor. Faith gave him structure when fame had given him chaos. He also began changing the people around him. Some relationships faded, others ended completely. This was not easy, but it was necessary. Healing requires distance from the lifestyle that had nearly destroyed him. So in 2018, Justin made a quiet but powerful decision. He chose stability over incitement. He married Hailey Baldwin, someone who represented calm rather than chaos. You see, Justin first met Hailey Baldwin long before the chaos, long before the downfall. The first meeting happened in 2009 backstage at a TV show. Justin was only 15 years old, Hailey was 13 years old at the time. Their meeting was brave and innocent. No romance, just two teenagers introduced by Hailey's father, Stephen Baldwin. At that time, Justin Bieber's life was moving too fast for anything real to happen. Fame took over, tours, interviews, pressure, attentions pulled him away. Well, years passed, they went separate ways. Justin entered relationships that were public, intense and unstable. Hailey watched from a distance. They crossed paths again in 2014 during one of the darkest periods of Justin's life. This time, the connection felt different. They spent time together, quietly, away from cameras. There was comfort, but Justin was not ready. He was still hurting, still confused, and still living without structure. By 2016, Justin was exhausted by the fame and the public relationship. He and Hailey reconnected again, more intentionally. Their bond grew out of friendship, not pressure. Hailey represented something Justin had never truly had, which was calmness. No drama, just performance. You see, this mattered a lot to Justin because Hailey saw Justin without the stage, without the spotlight, without the image. And Justin, for the first time, felt safe being honest. He later admitted that he trusted her in a way that he had never trusted anyone before. After Justin Bieber cancelled his tour in 2017, he stepped back from everything. And during this period of silence and self-reflection, Hailey remained present. She supported his decision to slow down. She did not push him to perform or prove anything. When Justin Bieber married Hailey in 2018, many people believed the story was over. They thought the chaos had ended. They thought the downfall was behind him. Some even said he's safe now. But real life is never that simple. Marriage did not erase Justin's past. It did not silence critics. It did not even end the pressure. As a matter of fact, it opened a new chapter where he had to rebuild while still being watched. After the wedding, backlash continued. Some fans questioned his choice, others compared his marriage to his past relationship. Online comments were harsh, rumors never stopped, every appearance was judged, every expression was analyzed. every happiness was questioned. You see, fame does not let you go easily. Justin tried to live quietly. He reduced appearance, he chose peace over noise, but the world kept pulling at him. Paparazzi followed him constantly. Cameras waited outside his house, studios, churches, and restaurants. Even after everything he had been through, privacy was still denied. As the years passed, Justin became more open about his struggles. He spoke about mental health, anxiety, and exhaustion. He admitted that fame had changed him in ways people never saw. Some listened while others mocked him while he was speaking. Come to think of it, this was the same pattern repeating itself. In 2020 and in 2021, Justin returned to music, but with caution. His song reflected the pain, the healing, and many other things that he had gone through. Well, he tried to be honest this time. Still, the critics questioned his motive. Some said it was an image repair, others said it was too late. Then came health challenge. Justin revealed he was dealing with physical and neurological issues that affected his ability to perform. Tours were postponed, shows were cancelled. Again, backlash followed. Some fans understood, others were angry. But Justin stayed quiet, he chose health. By 2023, the pressure boiled over publicly. One day, Justin was ambushed by paparazzi during a routine outing. Cameras surrounded him, questions were thrown at him. No space, no warning, just flashlights and voices. For once, Justin stopped. In August 2024, Justin Bieber and his wife, Hailey, welcomed their first child together, a baby boy named Jack Blues Bieber. The couples announced the birth on August 24, 2024, with Justin Bieber sharing a tender photo of their newborn baby foot and writing, "Welcome home, Jack Blues Bieber." This was their first child after years of marriage, a moment that many believe would have finally brought deep joy and stability. You see, having a child was not just another headline. It was something Justin and Hailey had quietly hoped and prayed for many years. Fatherhood gave him something different, which was responsibilities with meaning. As a matter of fact, families and friends said both Justin and Hailey were overwhelmed with emotions when Jack was born. They described the moment as a miracle and fulfillment of a long-held dream that had nothing to do with charts and critics. But even then, the world did not stop watching. The fans did not stop tormenting Justin. One moment in particular went viral on Instagram in 2025. When Justin Bieber was outside minding his business with his family, all of a sudden, paparazzi surrounded him again. Cameras were inches from his face. Questions were thrown at him like weapons. No greetings, no respect, just content. Well, Justin Bieber stopped working, confronted the paparazzi by notably saying, "It's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business and you are provoking me. You're going to take this video out of context like you always do." And that was exactly what he said.
"I'm a dad, I'm a husband. You're not getting it. It's not clocking to you. It's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business, is it? We're on the sidewalk, Justin. I don't give a f if you're on the sidewalk."
And it was obvious that he was angry at the way the paparazzi treated him. He was raging at them while he was asserting his humanity, marriage, and fatherhood, pleading for respect and privacy as a real dad and a real man. Well, the video spread fast. Some people mocked him, others finally felt sympathy. But what stood out was this: Justin was no longer trying to perform for the cameras. He was speaking for himself. Because if we come to think of it, this moment symbolized everything his life had become. A man who had given the world his childhood, his talents, and his privacy, now asking for one simple thing: space. He wanted that privacy, that respect. Even though they laughed at him, he knew what he wanted. By 2024 and 2025, Justin Bieber was no longer chasing charts or headlines. He chose a quieter life. He focused on healing, faith, marriage, and boundaries. Music became expression, not pressure. Backlash still exists. It probably always will. Some people still judge him by his worst years. Some still refuse to let go of the old mistakes. Fame had a long memory, but Justin no longer fights it. He had learned something important. You cannot heal in front of people who benefit from your pain. Justin Bieber's story does not end with perfection. It ends with awareness, with growth, and with survival. From a child drummer in a small town to a teenager consumed by global fame to a young man who fell under pressure to an adult choosing peace over noise. This is not just a celebrity. It is a warning. A big warning about what happens when the world grows faster than a child. About what happens when success arrives before identity. And about how hard it is to rebuild when millions are watching. You see, the story of Justin Bieber teaches a hard lesson about fame. Success does not mean safety. Money does not mean peace. And being loved by millions does not protect you from damage. When fame comes too early, it can steal your childhood, identity, and creation. Justin's life shows how constant pressure, lack of boundaries, and public judgment can slowly break a person. You see, the world often consumes talent without care. Healing takes time, silence, and support. And sometimes, survival itself became the biggest achievement. This story reminds us that behind every star is a human being, trying not to fall apart. Justin Bieber did not escape fame. He learned how to live despite it. And that, perhaps, is the quiet ending people never expected. For videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notification button so you won't miss out on other amazing documentaries like this. You can also click here for more fame and fallout stories.